Today we have a live demo about Data Vault, build a data warehouse using Data Vault with using dimensional model on the top. We also call it the mixed approach, which is implemented in AnalyticsCreator. So what is AnalyticsCreator for? AnalyticsCreator, I explain it now really in a nutshell. It's very short. AnalyticsCreator is a data warehouse automation technology which is made for experts, for developers. And it also can be used by non-experts. How it works? It works by generating source code instead of programming manually. You will see it later in the presentation of the imagery. AnalyticsCreator orchestrates the life cycle of a data warehouse. It means AnalyticsCreator do the design process, the development process, and the change process, and also the deployment process. And it's up to 10 times faster and has 10 times less costs. In the next 3 pages, I show you some success stories. This one from Bosch is really very nice. They reported to us that they had in the last couple of years, they saved more than 80% of time and cost of developing and maintaining the data warehouse and the IT controlling. That's an amazing number. It's good that Bosch reported also to us. They had a team before which they used, I think, 12 months to grow up the data warehouse. And after that, they use it with AnalyticsCreator and they built it completely new. And they just used 3 months with 2 people instead of 12 months with 3 people. And this is a really nice use case. Yeah, the next one is My Muesli. I think in Germany everybody knows this company. It's in the food sector. They had really no data warehouse in place, and they grow up a data warehouse by themselves just with 4 training days from us. We helped them to grow up the sales data warehouse, and from this point they have done everything by themselves without any external consulting. And so this also shows that AnalyticsCreator can be used for beginners when they want to understand how data warehousing, data management is working for the analytics. And yeah, this is a really nice story for the learning journey. Yeah, this is not a customer we cannot report. It's a huge one. They have several SAP instances in place, and they had to create an interest store in Microsoft Azure, and many data, and they reported to us that they were 20 times faster than estimated. This is a really great number. We tried to show our customer how this works. So there is on YouTube a video which explains how this is possible to be 20 times faster with automation. So you find this video on YouTube. Now I show you some use cases which are very common. So it's clear if you have a green field, there is nothing there. It's very easy to use AnalyticsCreator. You can grow up everything and you don't have to take care what was there before. Another thing is, which is also very important, if you want to modernize your existing data warehouse. So why you do it? In most cases, there are new requirements from the business or requirements from the IT. Maybe it's too slow, or it's not able to. They're not able to make changes anymore. So you can do a redesign of the architecture. You can do something like reverse engineering to import some type of code in AnalyticsCreator and to generate it new. This is possible. Also, what is very common, many customers are changing from the dimensional Kimball approach to data vault. And this is also something what AnalyticsCreator is for, that you can skip easily and jump easily in the data vault environment. Also what is very common, many customers of ours have SAP, and we support the SAP approach. There is a nice connector. We have our own connector, which extracts just the metadata of SAP. This works very smoothly and very fast. In some minutes or half an hour, you have the whole metadata from SAP in AnalyticsCreator and can start modeling. And after that, we use the Theobald connector to pull the data out of SAP and process it in the Microsoft environment. Another one is the cloud Azure, the shift to the cloud Azure. Some customers like to have the data in the Azure, more and more, of course. And there are some functionalities which help you to do this process very fast, that you can migrate your data warehouse from on-premise to Azure. And also, more and more customers start to have a real-time data platform. We also support this process, and it works really smoothly when you have a Microsoft ERP system in place. And the last what I want to show is it's special for partners. With AnalyticsCreator, you can also manage several partners to the same time. You also, if you have a standard software which you sell and you have 50 customers on this standard software, you can create one data warehouse for all customers and deploy it to a high number of customers, and do also individual manipulations and custom data things. Okay. Next, this is a very nice thing. We won in, I think now, 3 times in a row the data management survey from BARC. The newest one is the 2023. It's just coming out in some weeks. And I think we have also a very good position there. We do not know it exactly at the moment, but I think we have a good one, I think. You see now this picture in the middle. So we are placed in the very right upper corner. This is the position for vendors which have a high performance and the high product certification. We also see that there is SAP. We don't know why SAP is there, because SAP has nothing to do with data automation, but it's there. So we don't know, but we are satisfied with our position, of course. About the AnalyticsCreator vision. It's very important for us to give our customers and partners the possibility to be independent, from technology, and how this is possible. AnalyticsCreator is a pure design time tool. It means when you generate the code, you push the code to the Microsoft environment, and after that, you don't need any more AnalyticsCreator. So all what you generate, it's running smoothly, and it doesn't matter if you pay a subscription or not. So of course you have to pay the subscription for the first years, but if you decide you don't want any more, you have a data warehouse which is running. And compare this to other competitors, what they are doing. If you cancel the subscription, nothing is running anymore. You can be sure. And also we transfer the copyrights of the code which AnalyticsCreator is generating to our customers. Most of the competitors prohibited this. It's not allowed, and so you are very free to do this. Yeah, we have in AnalyticsCreator a holistic data model for business and also for your data. And with this holistic data model, we are able to generate to each Microsoft technology a data warehouse. So it doesn't matter if you generate on-premise data warehouse, if you generate an OLAP cube, a Tableau cube, or if you generate it in the Azure environment, and later also for Synapse. So you don't care in the modeling for what target technology it is. Of course, it's only Microsoft. We take care only for Microsoft, 100%. We don't want to create a data warehouse on Oracle or something else. So this is the reason why we focus. We want to be the best in this environment, in the Microsoft approach. And I think we are one of the best. Next is we have an open repository. This open repository, all the modeling data is stored there in a Microsoft SQL database. It's open. Yeah, everybody can see it. Everybody can develop also on the database, not using our graphical user interface. And also you can do some add-ons if you like. So you can add your own metadata there. You can read the metadata out and do something else. So we have a partner which generated, for example, a MariaDB data warehouse. It's possible. Yeah. Okay, next one. So this is a layer structure of a data warehouse, which is supported by AnalyticsCreator. It's very common and nothing special, but just that you see what we do. We pick up the data from the source and grow up all these layers to the presentation layer. Yeah, we do the storage, we do the core layer with aggregation, consolidation, the measures and all the things you model the business logic in there. And after that, we deploy it to different cubes, Microsoft cubes, and also to Tableau. It's also possible not only to Power BI, and also, of course, ClickSense and ClickView. So it's much more easier to connect with these kind of technologies to a Microsoft data warehouse. So, and very short, the last one, this is our 5-step approach. First of all, with AnalyticsCreator, you connect to your data source, yeah, and after you connect, we read out the metadata if it's possible. Not for every source it's possible. If not, so you have to declare it by yourself, and if it's possible, the metadata layer will be created automatically by AnalyticsCreator. Yeah. Also the keys and everything, the foreign keys and everything will be read out, and you have it in common ways. You have it very easy to do this. The third step is AnalyticsCreator analyzes this metadata and suggests you with an intelligent wizard a draft data warehouse model. Yeah. And you can choose some options, what you want. You want a mixed approach, you want a data wall, you want Kimball, you want what else. And after that, when the draft model is appearing, you can, of course, optimize the model. This is the main work. You add dimensions, facts, you do your data manipulation and everything what you want. And after that, when you're finished, you deploy. You deploy it, and the code will be generated, and the structure and everything. And the deployment package will be stored everywhere where you want, in Microsoft Azure or on-premise environment, and you can do it whatever you want. Yeah, this is how it works. And now Dimitri will show you in a live demo how it works.
Okay, then I will continue. I will present my screen. Okay, I hope you green. Peter, can you confirm,
Yeah.
please? Okay. Then today I will show you. Yes. Okay. Today I will show you two different modeling possibilities in AnalyticsCreator. First of them, this is a typical data vault modeling. Now I'm starting AnalyticsCreator and creating the new repository containing the data warehouse definition. We will call it test vault. The new repository is creating now. And as I said, first we will create the new data warehouse based on the data vault model. And second, we will create the new repository as a new data warehouse based on the mixed approach, the mixed model. But okay, the new repository is here, and first what we will do, we will add the new data connector. Sure, you can connect your AnalyticsCreator to the existing database or SAP system, but I will use the meta connector. Meta connector, this is the definition of the metadata stored in the file or in our AnalyticsCreator cloud. For example, we have in our cloud different connectors, meta connectors. For example, I will take the sub FI meta connector, metadata connector, or meta connector, and this connector contains information about the different SAP tables related to sub FI and controlling area. We can see SAP tables, and as I said, to create the data warehouse, you don't need the connection to the SAP system. You can use such meta connectors, and you can create the data warehouse and create all Dell packages, data warehouse structures, and without to have access to the SAP system. Later, when you will develop, for example, or you can modify your data warehouse based on the existing SAP system, you can compare the metadata in the meta connector with the metadata of your SAP system, add, for example, some customer columns and so on. But really it is possible to create the data warehouse without to have connection to the source system. Okay, this is our SAP-FI meta connector, and I will start data warehouse wizard to create the draft version of my data warehouse. Okay, and let me take some well-known SAP tables like backup AF, booking headers, booking positions, then KNAR1 is a customer, vendors, okay, accounts, company codes, and document types. And here you can see you can select between the classic, this is a Kimball model, data vault, or mixed approach. We will select the data vault model, and we will create the typical data vault data warehouse. Here we can select what we will do for which objects we will create in the data warehouse based on the different SAP tables. Auto means AnalyticsCreator will select automatically if the hub, satellite, or link should be created. Okay, we will create the dimensions for every table which we import. And as a table by set, this is the booking positions we will use to create the effect transformation. Okay, on the next screen we can decide about the names of the objects which will be created in the data warehouse. For example, all dimensions will have team prefix in the front, facts will have fact prefix in the front. I don't know, hubs will have hub suffix at the end, and so on. Okay, on the next screen we can add some define some additional properties. For example, calendar dimensions will be created called team calendar with specific calendar period and so on. But let's just click on the finish, and the data warehouse wizard now is analyzing the metadata of the tables which we will import, and will create the data warehouse for us. It will take some time. And okay, let's wait a little bit. Okay, we are almost finished. Okay, and here you can see the typical data layer diagram of the data warehouse. On the left side, you can see the data sources, our 7 SAP tables. Then we import the tables, the SAP tables, into the table and tables in our staging layer. If I click on the SAP source, I can see the structure of my SAP table with all related metadata. Then this is our import table where the data will be imported to. I can take a look on it. This table has the same columns like the SAP table. Later, now I can, for example, remove some columns if I don't need them. Okay, the import will be done using import package, integration service package, or Azure Data Factory pipeline. If I click on this IP square, I will see the definition of my import. First, here is a mapping between the SAP table columns and the column on the SQL Server table. I can define here different filters, for example, to restrict the amount of data which I will import. And using the filters and variables, I can organize the differential data loading. Many of our customers do that. It is very okay. I mean, it is possible to use filters and to organize differential data loading. And then we create the data vault objects. For example, okay, you can see there are different objects like links, satellite node, hubs, and you can see, for example, this is. Let me take a look on the basic transformation. Filter. On the basic table, you can see the table will be imported, and then we create 2 objects. This is a link sat and link. The link transformation contain the hash keys related to the tables which are related to this basic table. But first I will show you one additional thing. If I take a look on the import table, this is basic table, I will see that this table contains several calculated columns. And calculated columns will be used to generate the hash keys. The hash keys, this is a very important part of the data vault technology, and every business key will be extended by the hash key. Hash key will be later used instead of the business keys as a primary key of the table, and to create the references between the tables. And you can see, for example, here the first column, this is a valid hub ID, and this column will be calculated. This is a persistent calculated column, will be generated and filled up during the data import. And this column, this is a calculated column, and to as a statement to calculate this column, this macro get valid hash will be used. This macro, this is one of the important features of AnalyticsCreator. Let me take a look on this macro, get valid hash, edit macro. And you can see the macro, this is nothing more than the SQL statement. And some parts of the statement are replaced by the placeholders. For example, this double.1, this is a placeholder for the first parameter. Double.2 is a placeholder for the second parameter when I call the macro, and so on. You can see there is about 20 parameters can be used together with this macro. And when I call the macro and use the parameters, for example, get valid hash and parameter 1, parameter 2, parameter 3, the double.1 placeholder will be replaced by the first parameter, double.2 by the second parameter, and so on. And this macro, this SQL statement, is will be used to generate the hash key. You can see first we generate the string containing the parameters which we use with the macro, and then we calculate the hash key using hash byte function of SQL Server. We use here MD5 approach to calculate the hash key, but if you will, you can modify it and use, I don't know, A1 algorithm. And then we convert this hash byte into the binary 16. And this is the hash key macro. This macro will be used later by every hash key transformation in AnalyticsCreator. And as I said, if I take a look, for example, on this basic table, import table, which will be filled up during the data import, you can see there are the usual columns and some calculated columns. And calculated columns, you can see here, this is a hash key columns. First column, this is about hub ID. This is typical hash key of the table. This table has 5 columns as a primary key, and every primary key column will be used to generate the hash key. But this table is related to some other tables. For example, there is a reference between backsec table and bkpf table, and this reference will be done using these 4 columns: Mandant, Buchungskreis, Belegnummer, and Geschäftsjahr. And together with the usual hash key, we generate the corresponding hash key, and this hash key will be later used to reference the basic table and bkpf table. Then there is a relationship between the basic table and KNA1 table. This is a customer table. This reference will be done using these 2 fields, Mandant and customer number, and we generate according hash key here in the basic table. And later we use this reference between this hash key and according hash key of the KNA table to as relationship. And this approach, we call it the hashing of the model. That means we extend every table and every relationship by the hash keys and hash relations. And if I take a look, for example, on the if I take a look, for example, on the KN1 table, KNA1 table, set filter, you can see we generate for the KN1 table the hub and satellite objects later, but KNA1 table has only one hash key because this is the primary key of this table. This is mandant and customer number, and as I said, the according hash key will be created in the every table related where this referencing by this KNA1 table. This is a typical data vault mechanism, and later, okay, here in the next step we generate the hubs and satellites. These blue squares, this is the transformations or the views for the SQL Server. Let me take a look on this view. For example, this is a hub view, and this hub or hub transformation. And this hub transformation, this is the view. If I take a look on the view definition, I will see there are only 3 columns extracted from the KN1 table. First, this is the hash key, vault hub ID, and this is the primary key, mandant and customer number. And then we have additional here the satellite containing all other columns and the hash key, of course, vault hub ID. This is a hash key. This is a typical hub and satellite transformations. And then in the next step, we create, we materialize the hubs and satellites here in the persistent staging layer. You can see here, for example, this is a table, KNA1 hub, which will contain all hubs of the specific customer, and this is a table KNA1 sat containing all satellite of the customer table. Okay, if I remove filter, wait a moment. If I take a look on my doc segments, basic table, set filter, I will see instead to create this hubs and satellite, the AnalyticsCreator created for us the link and link satellite. This link table or link transformation, you can see, contains first the vault hub ID or hash key of the link table of the basic table itself, and every corresponding hash key for every transformation for every table related to this basic table. We can take a look on the view. This is just the exposing of the hash key fields from our basic table. And we have here additionally the basic the link sat table or link sat transformation. Link sat transformation will expose every other column in our basic table, plus of course the hash key itself. Exactly. You can see at the end this is a hash key itself. Okay. Filter. And as I said, in the persistent staging layer, we materialize the according views, links, satellites, and hubs. And this is a typical data vault. But then, in our core layer, we convert the links, sub, satellite, and hubs into the facts and dimensions. You can see on the right side in the data mart layer, and in the core layer, the typical Kimball objects like facts and satellites. I think for the data mart layer, the facts and dimensions are more suitable than the hub links and satellites. But of course, you can use your own modeling approaches. Our wizard will create for you the Kimball model and the data mart layer. If we could take a look, for example, on our fact basic transformation, this is a transformation combining based on the basic link object, and it combines every table related to the basic booking position table. We can take a look on it. Here you can see we join the different objects here, and here we export the surrogate keys from every according table in the data warehouse. We can take a look on the view created by AnalyticsCreator. You can see every table here will be joined using the hash keys. No primary key or foreign key, business key relationships will be used to create the fact transformation. And okay, this is the typical data powered approach. Additionally, you can see there is a one table called snapshots, and this is our approach how to work. This is how do we work with historical data. The snapshot table contains the dates. At least one row the snapshot table contains at least one row with the actual date, and every historized table, because every table here, this is a historized table, and we get from every historized table, from every satellite or satellite hub or link sat, the data which were actual for the specific snapshot date, for using this snapshot date between date from and date to. Using this where condition, join condition, we get from every historized table only the data which were actual for specific snapshot date, and then we combine them using the hash key relationships. We can add more snapshots to the snapshot table, for example, and of the previous months, the previous months, and so on, for example the last 12 months, and then we can create the snapshot dimension. And in this case we will have in our data warehouse or in our data mart not only the actual data but the historical data. We can access the historical data. We can this is like the additional timeline. Using this snapshot dimension, you can access your the previous versions of your data. It is not necessary. You can, of course, use only the actual snapshot, or, for example, I can set instead of snapshot historization, I will use the actual only and save. And in this case, my view will be modified. There is no snapshot transformation. Additional where condition will be used like this. That piece here, so date 2 is equal 999 and 1231. That means only the actual data will be get from the historical tables, and in this case only actual data will be exposed by this fact transformation. Well, this is the typical data vault approach. You can, of course, modify this model. You can create more satellites, for example, or you can divide existing satellites by by several satellites instead to store everything in the same satellite table, and so on. You can create several links, for example, and divide your link into the several link objects and so on. But this is what our data warehouse created for you. And now, but you can see this model is pretty complex. For every table, for example, in our data source, we create at least 2 tables, and usually more than 2 tables in our persistent staging layer. And then we should combine these tables in the customer in the core layer to create the facts and dimensions. And we created one. Now I will show you the mixed model. This is, let me create the new repository, test mix. And this mixed model, we are trying to combine the best of the Kimball and Data Vault modeling approaches, and we think this mixed approach can be very interesting because it combines the best features of every modeling approach. Okay, I will add the same connector, this sub-FI connector. Okay, and now first I will create the typical Kimball model. Oops, sorry. First I will create the typical Kimball model using the same tables. Okay, and A1, okay. Okay, the classic model, the same approach. Fact transformation using PSEC table, finish. And let's take a look on how it looks like. Well, now you can see this is a typical Kimball model. No links, no satellites, no hubs. Every table will be imported. Every table will be historicized in the persistent staging layer, and then we create the facts and dimensions based on the data and the persistent staging layer. Everything is clean. Let's take a look on our fact transformation. Here we join the tables together. The main table is the PSEC table containing the ID, which is a reference to every table here in the transformation. If you take a look on this view created by AnalyticsCreator, you can see, for example, this first table is this PSEC table, booking positions, and then we join every other table. For example, this is a booking header table using the hash, using the business keys and business relations, and the reference between PSEC and BKPF will be done using these 4 fields, and these 4 fields will be used to join the table together. This is a typical Kimball approach, and here, as I said, we have here we import the data, then we historicize the data. Every historizing table has I will take a look on this historizer table. Historizer table has two additional columns. Every historizer table has two additional columns. This is a valid from and valid to columns called an AnalyticsCreator .fontHist and .bishist. Valid from and valid to has the validity period of specific data row in the historizer table, and then the surrogate keys. This is SATS ID. In our case, this is the identity column of the type big int. And if we take a look on our fact transformation, we will see this fact transformation will expose the surrogate key from every participating table. If I take a look on it on the view, you can see this SATS ID. This is the surrogate key from every table. We use the snapshot historization to be able to get access to the previous versions of our data, and the business relations will be used to join the tables together. Nothing specific, very typical, very common Kimball architecture. And now I will try it called. Now I will hash the model. I will create. I will create the hash keys and hash key relationships. The only I have to do to create the hash keys, I should select this menu, add refresh hash keys, and here will be. I should select what I will do. I will create the hash primary keys. I will create the reference hash keys and replace the references in the transformation by the hash references. Okay, finish. And now you can see every table in our model has a hash sign, and that means the table was hashed. And if I take a look on my, for example, KNA1 import table, this is a table where I import the data into. There is a calculated column containing the hash key of specific KNA1 table. What we are trying to do, like in the data vowels modeling, we create for every table, we create the primary hash keys and corresponding foreign hash keys. And using this approach, we can extend the model, our model, by the hash keys and by the hash key references. And later we can use the hash keys and hash key references instead of the business key and business references in our transformation. This is it has some advantages, for example, but let's take a look how we do it. Like in the data vault modeling, we use this macro get vault hash to generate the hash key. And for example, this is a hash key of our customer table. If I take a look on our, for example, the sec table, again, we have here several calculated columns. The hash key of the sec table itself, this is this one, and corresponding hash keys which were created based on the references, because we know this basic table is referenced to the BKPF table using these 4 keys, and these 4 columns. This is the primary key in the BKPF table, and therefore we create this hash key, and we can use this hash key to reference the basic table and the BKPF table. The same related to every other table. For example, this is a hash key for KNA1 table. We can see the mandant and customer number will be used in this hash key, and so on and so on. As I said, every column here, hash column here, this is a persisted calculated column. This columns will be filled up during the import and will be calculated during import and materialized during import effort. It is not necessary to generate hash keys on the flow later when we access, when we read the data from this table. Every hash key is stored as materialized column. Okay, and the next step, we historicize every table, and to historize the data, we use the hash keys instead of the primary keys. For example, if I take a look on the, okay, here it's not done. There is a parameter. We can use the hash keys as a primary key to historize the data. There is a one parameter I forgot to turn on for the historization, but it is possible to do it now or later. And important is for the historization we can use the hash keys instead of the primary keys. It is first important, while later it is possible. First, the historization itself works better, is more performant, and later it is possible to change the hash key definition, for example, or add more columns or add more additional data, but because there is only one column used as a primary key for the historization, it is not necessary to redesign the historization algorithm. And sometimes it is very important. Well, and after the historization, we have the core layer. And if we take a look on our basic transformation, where we join the tables together, in the Kimball approach, we used the business keys to join the tables together. If we take a look now on our transformation, we can see the hash keys will be used to join the tables together, and it is of course more efficient. It is more I don't know. Okay, it is pretty universal way to. This is more generic way to join the table together, because later we can change the definition maybe of the hash keys, but the hash key relationships remain unchanged, and this transformation will be not changed even if we modify the participating tables later. But we can decide by ourselves how we will join the tables. For example, here, this is a reference. We can see here I can select how the tables should be referenced. This is the table number 2 and table number 1. We can see the table number 2, this is the BKPF table. Table number 1, this is BSEC table. I can say instead of the hash key, I will use my business key. I selected another reference. If I take a look on my view, I can see now the business reference is using to join the tables together, or I can instead select the hash key reference and I see the hash key reference is using to join the tables. Both business keys and business references, hash keys and hash key references exists in the model simultaneously. You can decide by yourself which approach you will use to combine the tables, to join the tables together. And important is for me, this model remains the typical Kimball model. It is not necessary to create for every table several objects like many satellites and hub and link sat and so on. The model remains simple. For every table, we continue to have only one table. Maybe we can extend the model, but it is not necessary to create many objects per table. And but we use this very interesting or very important feature of the data vault modeling. This is the hashing of the model, the using of the hash keys and hash key references instead of the primary key references. But this model is more flexible because you can decide by yourself which approach you will use, hash keys or business keys. It is, as I said, your own decision. Well, you saw two different approaches which you can use with AnalyticsCreator, and I hope it will be helpful for you to decide which modeling approach you will use for your data warehouses. Okay, Peter, I think I'm done. It is 10:30 as we decided, and you can continue.
Yes, nice, Dimitri. Thanks a lot.
Welcome. If you have, of course, the questions, I can.
Sure, this is what I want to ask you. So if you have a feedback for us about our idea, how we have done this, and if it's a usable approach for you, just ask us any question, please. No question? Come on.
Okay, yeah, then it was all.
Everything is clear.
Yes.
That's good. Yeah. So if everybody have no question, then we can say that's it. And yeah, I hope you see us soon next time. As I mentioned already, we have the live demo at the 4th of September. So it's in 1 month. In August, we do not have anything more. If you want to join us, so please go on our website on events and register at Eventbrite, our third-party tool we use for that. And yeah, I hope we see us soon. And also in November, at the 10th, I think November, we will have our AnalyticsCreator Congress, our annual Congress. This is a Congress over 2 days, but just 3 hours a day. A lot of customer stories will be presented, and also partner stories. And we talk about the roadmap for the next year and also for the past year, what we have achieved. And we have also a discussion there, what it will be good to have in AnalyticsCreator for the next months and years. And yeah, so this is a community discussion for, yeah. Okay. I hope you liked it, and hope we see us soon, and I wish you a nice weekend and of course a nice hot summer, and see you in September. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.